Kevin Limley wanted to take a minute, talk about adoption. This is my favorite thing to do because it's the only thing in our law firm that the client is happy from start to finish. It's just a happy process. They're making the child a part of their life, and it's just something we're really it warms our hearts to be a part of it, and we love to do as many of them as we can. And fortunately, in Arkansas, the process is pretty straightforward. There are some nuanced steps to it, but all in all, it's not too hard to navigate, and we can usually get these done in a matter of months. So it's not something that's going to drag on forever. So probably the biggest question that we get is, do we need the consent of the biological parent? So our usual situation is one of the two biological parents has fallen off for one reason or another. And in Arkansas, once they go a year without having any contact with the kid, no birthday presents, no Christmas presents, things like that, then we don't need their consent. And once we hit that threshold, we can go in and get the adoption done, and there's really not going to be a defense that the biological parent can raise. Now, if we're still going to ask for that consent because it will make it just a little bit quicker, just a little bit easier. If we can't hit that year, then yeah, we're going to need their consent, and we've gotten pretty good at being able to get the consent. Some folks are easier to work with than others. They just don't want to be involved, so they'll just sign whatever piece of paper, and usually to make the child support stop, that'll get them to do it. Other folks aren't going to sign anything that comes from a lawyer, so it's hard for us to get our consent. But that's just something that we'll work with. If we're looking at a step parent that's wanting to adopt the child, that's the most common and it's the easiest, and we don't have to do a home study. So as long as there's nothing shady in their background, like a felony or anything like that, then it's going to be a pretty smooth process, and we can go do it. Now, once we get a little further out and we're either not a blood relative or we're a distant blood relative, then we're going to have to get a home study that's going to be done by a social worker. And it's not too hard. It's just more burdensome than anything. You're ready to get the adoption done, but the social worker will just come in and make sure that your home is right and appropriate to for the child to live there, and you're going to be a good parent going forward. And they just make that assessment just so the court knows that they're putting the child into a good place and not making them worse off than where they are in foster care or whatever the case may be. Once the adoption is over, then the child will take on their new last name of the adoptive parent. They're going to get a new birth certificate, just as if the adoptive parent was their blood parent, and it's going to sever the rights of the natural parent. And sometimes we have situations where the natural parent, is a bad influence, doing drugs, that sort of thing. So we can get the judge to order no further contact whatsoever. And if it's not that situation, if it was just the natural parent was just down on their luck or just not able to raise a child, then still as the adoptive parents, you can encourage and foster that relationship between the child and their natural parent when and if you seem fit. But if you're thinking about adoption, something that you're considering for your family, we'd love to hear from you. Like I said, it is our favorite thing to do, and we just can't get enough adoptions. Thanks.